Hey guys, Aero Productions here, back with another video. Today we're looking at the combination build between the Thunder Driller and the Granite Grinder. So I'll take these sets apart, build the combo, and we'll take a look at the details. Hey guys, here we are back again with the completed build. This is the multi-build, like I said, of the Thunder Driller and the Granite Grinder. So we had a good assortment of parts here from Lego to kind of build both these things. And keep in mind, both of these things were official. This was released online as an additional multi-build that you could download if you had both of these sets. So that's pretty cool that they did that with the first half wave of Power Miners. Anyway, let's take a look at these builds, as we've seen all these minifigures in previous reviews. So just moving these rock monsters to the side, let's take a look at the first half of the Aero Shredder. This thing looks pretty cool. Obviously, it is meant to fly, so you've got these giant engines in the back with a relatively large thruster with only one piece of flame though. Kind of disproportionate, but it works. It gives off the idea. They use a lot of these little 1.5 pins to show off little extra thrusters, and these giant wheels just to throw some bigger bulk. Up in the front we have the actual cab where our pilot sits. You can see that he's got a little control panel right here and two joysticks right here, just to kind of probably fly this thing around. Because I'm thinking, based on how the build works, it'd probably be two different builds or vehicles that could work independently if need be, though I don't know how practical a flying vehicle would be in a cave. Anyways, taking a little more look in here, we can see we've got little braces right here that kind of represent connecting to that piece right there, which it works really well. You can just kind of bring this down and bring this up, and that works perfectly fine, just like a little roll cage, so no rocks or debris hits them. A cool thing that I really like about this build is they used the bucket that you see the Granite Grinder pulling and just free float this in here attached back there. Stretch that down a bit. Can you see it? It's attached back there under these rim pieces and just barely floats in there. That's the only point of attachment, but it works really well and it gives him this nice little area and space to work with, which looks pretty cool. Closing that, we can move around to the side. You can see it just used a lot of the pieces from the Thunder Driller. Some of the big stickered pieces up at the top. Fuel deposit. And we have two large lights right here and here, along with some smaller ones here and here. Though those kind of are being blocked by these large flap pieces, which I would assume are some sort of air intake or something of the likeness. But yeah, a relatively good use of parts for the top half. We can kind of get in here a little bit if you get your fingernails under, but they don't actually put anything in here. For the sake of just placing the third minifigure somewhere, I have put dock with most of the accessories inside there, though I would assume that the interior is actually used for some sort of engine room or canisters to actually make this float, maybe large amounts of helium or something like that. Anyway, that's about it for this part of the build. Let's take a look at the lower part, and then we can take a look at them together. Here we are, the lower half of this build, which is, compared to the top half, looks a bit awkward, but it does have a very nice play feature. We'll take a look at that in a second. Aesthetically, you've got just these regular tracks, which are kind of just imitating what we saw on the Granite Grinder. And at the front, we've got this giant beast of a wheel, which rolls much better on carpeted surfaces, but you can see it was rolling over my hand like that. You can see it actually does move. It's not locked in place or anything. Just spin it like that. Over here we have a little cab for our lower driver with a giant spotlight up here, and just tilting that back with these headlight bricks that have these little robot hands stuck in them. Just tilt it back. You can see that there is this steering wheel right here, which is partially covered by the cab when it closes, which might be a bit inconvenient, but you know, Lego's working with what they had here. In the back we can see an idea of an engine or something like that, with possibly some exhausts. Just the little V8 right here. Then we come around to this side, and this is where the actual play feature is. Now they used the rubber band from the granite grinder that would make this piece up here move back and forth as the granite grinder moved along, and they used to make some sort of catapult, which works pretty well. There's got a pretty good bit of tension on there, and the idea is that you take a piece of dynamite like this and just kind of toss it, and flies off into the distance, and you'll possibly never see it again, but you know, works pretty well. You can give it different amounts of tension to see it fly different lengths. But yeah, sometimes you can get it to kind of lay like that, but just a kind of little bump will set it off. But yeah, that's the bottom half of the build. And then it just kind of towers up to here, which I'm assuming is more or less just there to hold on to the top half of the build. Or you could see this as maybe being the same thing that the granite grinder has. It goes back and forth, and you just move that and get the rocks out of the way and keep mining. Anyways, taking the top half of the build, you can take that, and you can see that's got a pretty good hold on it. Just moving my hand so the light can hit it. Just kind of grabs onto there. And if you wanted to, maybe you could pretend this is a drop ship, taking it in and just kind of letting it go. Or maybe it's always just one big thing, and this is just to keep the airship grounded. But yeah, you can take a zoomed out look at that. And you guys can kind of see what it looks like all together. I'll get my hand in the back here. There still is going to be a bit of shadow underneath, but you guys get the idea. And you can just take that off and put it down here. Now if you really want to, the bottom of this incorporates the use of this 2x8 that has hollow middle studs, and you can kind of, if you do it just right, balance that on top, and you can see it just kind of sits there. I'm trying to get some better light on the bottom, but yeah, anyway, you just take these builds. That's about it for this. You just move most of these back over to the side. You just got your two rock monsters right here and here with their crystals, just the ones that came in the set. You have the orange, and blue. But yeah, anyway, that's about it, guys. One last thing before I let you guys go. This is the extra parts left over from both the Thunder Driller and the Granite Grinder when the Aero Shredder was completed. Quite a bit of parts here. I felt like these pieces could have been used in an assortment of ways, but if you have the sets, you can always embellish the sets with these pieces, and in the end, it's just Lego. You can add it wherever you'd like because it is all compatible. Anyways, for watching, this has been my review of the Aero Shredder. Yet again, another great multi-build by Lego for the Power Miners theme, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.